Join me in welcoming the OG, Ice-T.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for being here.
Well, yeah. I was minding my business, and the Egyptian lover popped up on the phone talking about coming to LA. And I'm like, I live in New York right now, you know? And he's like, well, come, we're gonna do an Uncle Jamm's Army reunion. Of course, I wanted to do that. So, when there's a will, there's a way. Then you guys came up with this little speaking thing for the Red Bull Academy. So I'm in the building, so.
All right, well, we're very happy to have you here. I just ran down a short list of the many things that you do. But do you still consider yourself a musician first?
Yeah, I think I'm a musician first. More like a writer. Whether I'm writing books or writing rap or just a lyricist and a writer first, But bottom line hustler. Bottom line hustler. That just was a vehicle for me to get out of trouble. So I had to figure something out, and that kind of was dropped in my lap. I always had a gift to gab. I was always good conversationalist. I was always good at that. And sometimes you don't know what's going to be your gift, and that turned out to be my gift, my communication ability. One day I got this epiphany. I'm like, Iceberg Slim isn't just a pimp and a player. He's a writer. He's a writer. So there's so many hustles and players in the world, but who knows their name? I'm not going to be known because players have these dreams of, like Cube says, us looking at the Goodyear blimp and parades. This is the delusions that players have, And I was like, if I'm going to be known, if I want to go down in the books, I can't just live the game. I have to document the game. And that's how I'm gonna be known above the average cat on the street. There's a lot of Ice-T's out here. They just ain't made no records. They just ain't wrote no books. So I said, I'll document the game. So when you listen to my music, don't listen to it like a rap record. Listen to it like me telling you stories over music, but it's not meant to dance to. We intentionally use beats that you couldn't dance to, because you're supposed to sit back and listen to me kick game. That's what all my records are about. Because I'm Your Pusher had Curtis Mayfield hook, and it hit, I thought it was cheating. I'm like, that's too easy. I can't, fuck that, no more singing hooks. Because I just think it's too easy. And I'm not gonna do something I see somebody else do. So I'm trying to, because we, real players, you want to be original. I want to pop up in some shit you never seen. I want to introduce you to things. If I pop up in this motherfucking Gucci jacket and the nigga in the front row got one on, I might burn this shit backstage. Because that ain't fly. And it's like them shits was on sale, son. What's happening? So, my music always steered away from what normal people was trying to do. It always had to have its own lane. It always had to sound different.
You say we're kicking the street.
Well, hip-hop kind of started for me after I came out the military. I went in the military because I was a teen parent. I came home and the two things was happening. The dance situations with Bay 5, Wrecking Crew, Uncle Jamm, shit was popping off. And my homies who had gone from small-time criminals to big-time criminals, and they say, look, man, we hitting these jewelry spots, this is the lick, this is what you do. And I was from the military, so I had no training but for that kind of shit. So I'm like, all right, come on, let's go get money. So while we getting money, we would get the money and then we would go to these parties. But then because we was getting so much money, we was the best dressed motherfuckers at the party. So when you would go to Uncle Jamm's Army, you would see somebody like Ice-T show up with 40 people, girls and guys, all Fila draped head to toe with the jewels on and the perms popping. And you like, what are these? Are these like some hybrid gangster, pimp, hustler, young LA players, you know? And that's where it started. I wanted to do parties like them, and I found out that I would get more attention from these little rhymes I had written. But you gotta remember, nobody had ever made no money rapping yet. No one had bought a car rapping yet. So when I tell my friends I wanna rap, they like, nigga, you better get this money, man, all that old rap bullshit. Like, no, ain't, niggas talk down on it. And I was like, cool. So I remember I would still go to Uncle Jamm's Army and I would ask Roger and stuff like that. And eventually they let me get on the mic. And I went up there saying whatever I had to say. You know, it was like my first taste of standing in front of large audiences. You gotta remember, back then, even for adults, there weren't a lot of clubs. Like now you have lots of clubs, nightclubs and things like that, but there weren't. And if you were 16 to 21, you couldn't get in it. Well, 20, you couldn't get into a club. And if you was black and even 20, you wasn't getting into the Hollywood clubs. So you had a few places you could go. So they tapped a market that was, because the other option is a house party. And a house party in LA is a potentially death trap. Because basically what you do in a house party, most people out here that have houses, the house party is in the garage and it's in the back, and they put the turntables back there, and then they have red lights and shit, and that whole driveway is a kill zone. It's dangerous, right? So when motherfuckers drive by and they blast in that driveway, you can get it. Very few people even let you into their house. So when we was in high school, they would take these index cards and it would say date, gate, mate, rate, and late. Date is where, gate is, the date is when, the gate is where, the mate is who's throwing it, and the rate is how much it costs. Then it would have a name of a song at the top, like Big Payback. Like, I'm not going to that fucking party. It's called the Big Fucking Payback. Like, and they would hand out these index cards, and that's where the parties would be. This is before the flyers. When Uncle Jamm's Army came out, all of a sudden you started seeing these flyers up on the posts of the streets. And then they had radio commercials. So you knew it wasn't a house party. And then once you went to one, it was more girls and more action than ever. The one thing about Uncle Jamm's Army party is it was not a concert. See, if you go to a concert, you come in like this and you expect people to perform. Uncle Jamm's was a dance. So you went there to catch. There were girls there and there were guys there. So you're out there trying to pick up. It was more of a mating situation going on out there than if you go to a concert tonight, you ain't expecting to meet nobody unless you finna play the parking lot. You dig what I'm saying? You know, or the girls' bathroom, some old pimp shit. Give y'all niggas secrets and shit. The best place to pick up chicks is in front of the girls' bathroom in any club. Just stand there, you're gonna get to see them in the white light. They probably left their man for a hot second. And if you intersect them right there, you can get more numbers than you just work the averages. Just stand there. Don't waste your time running through the whole club. Just stand right by the girls' bathroom. But you gotta pose to be chose. You gotta be fly. You gotta catch them looking first. You dig? When they look a little too long, you know, you say, bitch, I'm in an orange suit. You know, I ain't no UPS man. What's happening? But that's another game. Back to this. Uncle Jamm's Army was a dance, not a concert. And you know, the music played continuously, and the dance floor was just packed with people. Back then, they was doing the freak, you know, which is basically just dry humping to a rhythm. Love the freak. Bring that back. Some niggas is still doing the freak. Some niggas that never learned no new dances. That's all they know. It's just the freak. They come to the party to push up on you. You know, it was gonna be harder for me to rap like a rapper. Like to rap about parties and bullshit that didn't matter to me. That shit was, how many records could I make about that? Like, you know, that's why like now you listen to the rappers, they like, I got a car, I got a watch, I got a car, I got a watch, check it out, I got a watch, I got a car. You know, I fucked the girl, I got a car, I fucked the watch, I got a car, I got a because you know, I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking birds, like they have a small amount of experience. So there's lack of content. So I would read a lot of books. I'm watching movies. I'm trying to take in, like even after, right before I make a record, I'm taking in all the information I can so that I'm able to express a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. But because I had been in the game, you gotta remember, I started rapping when I was 27. I was no kid. So, you know, from 18 to 27, I was on the street. So I had real shit to talk about. That's why I listen to these little niggas like, I'm 14, nigga, you ain't never even, only bird you saw was at Popeyes, nigga. Like, stop it. Like, you ain't been in no, get the fuck out of here. A lot of Scarface shit. So, well, you know, and then I also come from a zone where the niggas that was around me wouldn't allow me to lie. So I got homies that really been there, and niggas tell me, Ice, you ain't gotta lie, because the shit we did was too real. So keep it within the realms of reality. You ain't gotta say you killed 50 niggas. You ain't killed 50 niggas. You probably would, but you haven't, so don't say it. You know, so I kind of like didn't know you could lie. I didn't know you could take pictures with girls that weren't yours. I didn't know you could stand in front of cars that weren't yours. I didn't know you could wear other people's jewelry. I didn't know that was okay. I thought like, that's not allowed in the street. Niggas like, nigga, that ain't your rope, nigga. Like, come on, nigga. Like, what's good? So I was always reaching for being real. It was imperative, you know, it's paramount. We can't fake the funk. Somebody will check you. And you know, for me to be from LA and to be doing this shit so long and never have been challenged, you've never heard nobody come out at me, ever. In New York, you had the hip hop scene, which went downtown to the upscale people, Andy Warhol, and people like that got a hold of it. But they had a kind of like a thing out there where they kind of called a truce with the street gangs in order to party. That's what the Zulu Nation did, was said, look, we're not gonna be able to have these parties if y'all act up. And that's one thing we know about clubbing, is that once somebody gets shot or something happens, the girls stop coming. And that's the end of the party. You know, ain't no party with a bunch of dudes, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna happen, you know. We used to run clubs. We had clubs up in Hollywood later, Water the Bush, United Nation, and I used to tell them that this club is based on pussy per square foot. You dig? If you stock the pond with enough women, the guys are gonna come. If we put ugly girls in this club, they gonna buy beer. If you put hot chicks, they buy champagne. This is basic business here, y'all. Y'all understand? The girls get in free because they don't spend money anyway, and the guys pay to impress. And that's, you know, now when you take it down to a high school level, you still need a lot of girls. And girls ain't coming where somebody can get hurt. They like, nah, I'm cool. So you have to keep a lid on the nonsense. But here's the problem. Everybody in LA don't go everywhere in LA, right? See, I'm sitting in Inglewood. I don't come to Inglewood because I got all this blue on. You understand what I'm saying? We from another part of LA. So different people won't cross different lines. If you're from Compton, they never cross Manchester. Compton is 10 square miles. They don't, so people stay in these little sectors of California, especially the guys. But when Uncle Jamm threw a party, it was so big, it would draw people from all the different neighborhoods, all the different gang sets. So you have a potential powder keg.
Well, what about radio? Because this is one of the places that you really made, you know, your home.
Oh, now radio is a whole nother thing. The radio was a club down by MacArthur Park that was run by a Russian named Alex Jordanov and a white guy named KK. And they were the first club like that really played hardcore hip hop to like an upscale white kind of new wave crowd. Glove played there. Glove, my DJ, who played on the song Reckless, he played there. Egyptian Lover spun there. But they would bring New York acts. And that's also where they shot the movie Breakin'. That was a real scene. But when the movie company came in, they didn't want to pay Alex and call it the radio, so they called it the Radiotron. That's that Hollywood bullshit. And they figured a way to cut him out of what he created. But it was the first really hardcore New Yorkish hip hop club in LA. Now, Uncle Jamm's Army wasn't playing rap because there was no rap records. They were playing techno. So I call Uncle Jamm's like the first rave. They were like doing a rave and didn't know what it was. It was just all DJs and local DJs who were really nobodies who became stars in the world of Uncle Jamm's Army. Egyptian Lover just told me the night he became Egyptian Lover. I'm like, wow, it was a very erotic experience that turned him into Egyptian Lover. He's like, I'm an Egyptian motherfucking lover right now. So, you know, people were being born in there.
Gangster rap became this phenomenon. You have all of these, you know, spin-offs.
Yeah.
Everybody doing it. This is what you paved the way for. I'm sure there's a point of pride, like I made this happen. I you know, I was the foundation of this. But then it has to also be oversaturation.
Well, no, it was a lot of people, right? Okay, so you got me. In the Bay, you had Too Short. Too Short was doing Freaky Tales. And I met Too Short, and Too Short was just talking about fucking girls. Like, you know, he had this real basic rhyme. You know, I met this girl, her name was Sally. You know, I'm like, this is crazy, right? So I met him, like, he had these drug dealers that were sponsoring him. It's called 69 Girls. I think drug dealers / pimps, these some players. So they met, they said, we gonna meet you and Too Short up early. So they brought him, and me and him became friends. See, this was a game, like, let's not create beef where, you know, if he knew I'm popping in LA and he's in, let's just let him meet and they can become friends. So me and Short have been friends since the very beginning. Then down in Houston, Ghetto Boys popped off, okay? They was on some old real ridiculous gangster shit. In New York, there was a group called Mob Style, which was Alpo and them, Pretty Tony, and they was active gangsters in Harlem. So I was aware of who was doing it, but prior to me, I was the first person to step across the line. Now, I was inspired by Schoolie D. Schoolie D made a record called PSK, which was about the Parkside Killers. I was at a club, first time I heard PSK, and I was like, this is the dopest shit because the way, I hope they play PSK tonight at the party, but it comes on like, it's like, it sounds like angel dust, and I don't do dust, but I feel that's what it sounds like. And you know, Schoolie was like, PSK, we making that cream. People always say, what the hell? I'm like, who's this pimp ass nigga? Like, you know, everyone was yelling on the mic. And I'm like, this is the flyest shit. So then I searched the record down, and he said he's singing about Parkside Killers, but it wasn't graphic. The only thing he says in the record is, One by one, I'm knocking you out. Then he says, I put my pistol up against his head, says, suck ass nigga, I should shoot you dead. I'm like, this is some fly shit. So I took the cadence from that and made 6 in the morning. So if you listen to PSK been making that green, 6 in the morning, police at my door, the same cadence. I took the music from mythological to do colors. There's a guy named King Sun who had a record called Mythological. And this is all musicians are influenced by other music. You know, it's only biting if you can absolutely tell. I'll tell you, I'm influenced by this song. You're like, I never knew that. Because that's how musicians work. But mythological, King Sun says, when I get ill, it's a reason, cause it's duck season, hunter of the fronter. And when I did colors, I said, I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking. So I'm like taking his energy and vibe and rocking with my own words. And that's how these shit started to happen. Now, Q was a little homie. Q was going to Arizona University. And he used to come to the shows and shit. And then when they were Wrecking Crew, then he was in CIA, and then they became NWA. And you know, out comes the Boys in the Hood, which he called 6 in the morning part 2. Because 6 in the morning, police at my door. The boys in the hood are always hard. So these all records kind of inspired the next one.
How much did Rakim influence you? Because when I listen back to some of, you know, this Power era, Iceberg, you know, I feel like I hear Rakim's influence on you as well.
Well, Rakim made everybody want to learn how to flow. When you heard, because everyone was rapping a certain way, like Run DMC, and then Rakim started rhyming, and you were like, this shit is just the most smooth style. You know, take you on a walk through hells, freeze your dome and watch your eyeballs swell. Guide you out of triple stage darkness. You know, like, I'm like, this nigga right here is the best rapper in the history of the world. But see, certain rappers, I try to get my flow more smoother and better. When I heard Das Effects, I thought I was gonna have to quit. I'm like, I can't rap like that. Like, I heard certain people, and you're like, yo. When I heard Twister, I'm like, I'm out. I can't out rap these niggas. But then I would write rhymes like, I hear your style, although you rhyme quicker. No matter what you do, I always lace mine thicker. Jealousy will make a fool die quicker than liquor. Watch your back with your niggas, cause it's right where they'll stick you. So my thing was to not just out rap you, but have thicker, heavier content. So, cause I used to see people win in battles. I seen cats go out and do 36 bars and then seen somebody eat them with 8 bars. So I knew that it was content.